Hello everyone, welcome to another Fight of the Night review. This is for the Fight of the Night at UFC Fight Night Joanna vs. Watson at the Amalie Arena in Tampa, Florida. And it was the co-main event, believe it or not, between Cub Swanson and Ice Cream Kron Gracie. I'm never letting that nickname go. That is brilliant. So we're going to do what we normally do, try and break down the fight round by round as best as I can. Try and tell you what was good and what was bad. And luckily, it was a mostly good, mostly really good fight. So, yeah. So, Cub Swanson would win by unanimous decision, but the numbers make it seem a lot further apart than it actually was, in my opinion. So we're just going to break it down round by round. First thing to note was obviously a stand-up game. Actually, first thing to note is that this is technically a rematch because 15 years ago they met in a jiu-jitsu tournament. I think it was 15 years ago, something like that. They met at a jiu-jitsu tournament, and Gracie won very closely by decision in that tournament. Or they met for a jiu-jitsu match. It was a jiu-jitsu thing, so technically a rematch, sort of. And, Cub Swanson managed to get a little bit of revenge about a decade and a half later. And round one was very much all stand-up. Cub Swanson was doing his best to avoid Kron Gracie's grappling. He kept his hands low throughout most of the fight, which was a really interesting technique. Because Kron Gracie was stepping forward, he was definitely moving more, he was advancing more than Cub was. But Cub was landing the better shots. He landed some great body shots throughout the entirety of the fight, but it really opened up in round one with arguably the biggest shot of the round, with a really good left kick almost to the liver. And Kron Gracie, props to the dude, he took a lot of shots to the body and did not cave in at all, which that would have put lesser men down. And but yeah, I like how Cub Swanson's game plan was try and keep standing. He kept his hands low in case Kron Gracie did try and shoot for a takedown. And of course he was going to do that. I mean, his surname is Gracie. They're all about the ground game. It's what they're best at. I mean, this is Kron Gracie's first ever loss. All of his wins before this were all by submission. Only one of those was in the second round. So all the others were in round one. So the fact that Cub Swanson even managed to get to round two with Kron Gracie was already impressive, not to mention the fact that the fight was actually really good. It wasn't like Kron Gracie wasn't landing anything, he did land a few good shots, but it was mostly Swanson getting the better of it, especially with the body work, like with the kick, as I mentioned, a good left uppercut, the good shots. We get to round two, and it sort of feels like more of the same, but this is where we start to detect a shift. There's a bit more up close fighting. Kron does almost get a couple of clinches, and I think he tries for a takedown, but does not land it. I think. But Swanson is definitely landing the better. However, because of how much power Swanson is putting into his strikes, he does start to get tired before Kron does. And I think by the end of the round, Cub Swanson's he's got a cut around his right eye, and I think Kron Gracie is his nose is a bit bloody, not too terribly. And round two was sort of the same as round one, but with the momentum sort of shifting more in Kron's favour. And in round three was definitely where a lot more of it started to sort of change. There was definitely a lot more grappling exchanges, there was more clinch work. Swanson managed to fight his way out of it really expertly as well. There was a great moment where Kron Gracie actually had him with a clinch and went for a takedown, but Swanson shifted his body weight so he landed next to Kron on the floor and wasn't taken down properly with it. So that was really smart, really good work from Swanson. And eventually there was another situation, but Swanson managed to get on top of Gracie and land a few good shots, but most of it was back to the stand-up stuff. Not a lot of clinch work after that, I don't believe, but it was definitely Swanson's body work that sort of stands out for me in the fight, and that's all he really needed to win. Cub Swanson doing as Cub Swanson do, So yeah, all in all, I know not a lot to talk about in this fight except for Michael Bisping was doing commentary, and kind of interesting to see him considering that recently he sort of came out about the fact that his right eye was fake for the for the back end of his career, which just makes him even more badass in my opinion. He never complained about it, he never even told anyone. So. And he was doing commentary, doing a great job. The referee was Kevin McDonald. He did a good job here too. There wasn't super respectful moments between Swanson and Gracie, but there wasn't any accidental leg pokes, any groin shots. It was all a very clean fight, and it was a very enjoyable fight. I don't know where this will fit on my best of the year, but it was definitely a lot more enjoyable than I think people are giving it credit for. The crowd was super into it, the commentators were super into it, I was quite into it too. So, yeah, I liked it. I really, really liked it. I thought it was really good. Could be in the top 10, could be an honourable mention, honourable mention at the very least. I thought it was enjoyable. And, don't really have a lot else to say. I'm going to be repeating myself. I'll see you all possibly tomorrow for a new PPW stream. And it's funny that I mentioned because, as I mentioned earlier, at the start of the video rather, this event did take place in Florida. My next pay-per-view for PPW is also going to be in Florida because why not? just perfect happenstance, and I'll see you all tomorrow, most likely, and hopefully in the week, because I know I say this all the time, but I'm gonna hope to get a new vocal cover out. I don't promise anything. I should just stop saying that. I'll probably do another one. I don't know when. Sorry. I'll see you all for whatever the hell I wind up putting out next. And as always, God, I'm tired. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye bye.